A tale as old as the last 5 years. Sometimes, in the case of Dragon Age, even longer. So what's kicking, chicken? Now, what we have to talk about today is this confluence of events that has constantly been keeping all the games that are coming out, games from beloved franchises, they keep getting pushed back, pushed back, pushed back, studios being fired, everything completely changing hands, but they still try to keep on to the same stories. Now, this is a problem that has happened with a long time. We're seeing this with the Assassin's Creed Shadows. We saw this with Dragon Age, the Fail Guard, and now we're seeing it with the new iteration of Fable, technically Fable 4. I don't know how they're going to name it yet, but we're going to talk about it right here today, right now. Now, there's a Fable reboot. Reboot. Now, that's something different. You're going to go back to the first Fable? You know, with Jack of Blades, we're going to do that, but it has been delayed to 2026 as concerns grow over the game's direction. Now, this was originally supposed to come from 2025, and goo, what is that? What is that? That is an androgynous thing, that creature. Microsoft has officially delayed it from its 2025 release, and it was announced during the latest official Xbox podcast, where Craig Duncan, the head of Xbox Game Studios, attempted to reassure the fans. Now, let's just quote him right here. I just want to start with really excited about progress. What kind of progress? What kind of progress are we talking about now? Really excited about where Playground are. That is the new studios rather than Lionhead that used to do the first three Fable games. Playground is now taking it over, so we got a whole new distributor. We previously announced the date for Fable as 2025. We were actually going to give Fable more time, and it's going to ship in 2026 now. Now, this is a story basically as old as time. We've seen this so many times, and the harrowing fact about this, that at least what harrows on a lot of gamers' minds nowadays, is that this is becoming more and more prevalent. This is becoming more and more common. You were excited for something. They've used 5-6 years to work since the announcement, and then they're just going to push it back again and again and again. Now, the Fable, actually, the first one, you have to play the Lost chapters as well. You have to do that. For me, Fable 2 is the GOAT out of the trilogy. Fable 3 was always buggy, but I still enjoyed it. It was also extremely short. I want to say you can get through that game in 8 to 10 hours, whereas the other ones, you could sink more than double that time into completing the entire story. But I mean, it was still fun to an extent. Got a lot of cool characters, a lot of wackiness, a lot of British humor. Let's go back to what he has to say, though. While I know that that's not maybe the news people want to hear, what I want to assure people of is that it's definitely worth the wait. That's what everyone says about everything. Give me something. I have unequivocal confidence in the Playground team. If you think about their history and legacy for Forza Horizon, completely different games. You're talking about a racing game versus an action RPG, like goofy adventure game. The last few games critically acclaimed, 92 Metacritic. Yeah, you want to give them the honor. You know what James Mangold did before he put out Indiana Jones and the Dial of Death? He put out Ford versus Ferrari. He put out so many good movies. 310 to Yuma. I think well, most people haven't even seen that. That's Russell Crowe and Christian Bale. That is a freaking fantastic movie. He's actually won awards for his script writing and other things that he's put out. But then he put out an absolute stinker. So I don't want to hear about what they've done before, what they've done most recently. What I want to know is, are they staying true to the IP and the property and what the fans of this want? Because Fable has a giant fan base. Now, I know the leader of Lionhead Studios a few years ago actually got embroiled in some stuff where he was basically just being a shill. And I would have to pull up the article, and it is so long ago that I actually don't have it in front of me, but I want to say that the guy was just pissing off fans just for the sake of it. Maybe it's a British humor thing. You never know. But either way, yeah, they ain't there no more. They were fired a couple years back. And so what they want to say about Playground Studios is that the award-winning, beautiful, play great, great mechanics, what they're bringing to the Fable as a franchise. Just think of the visuals. Fable's never really cared that much about the visuals. Now, okay, those cutscenes in Fable 3 were actually extremely awesome. Fable 2 cutscenes were actually awesome. They look like dadgum movies. It's just like, you can run this on this engine. Why can't we see the whole game like that? So they're going to take their shot at their version of Albion. And yes, just to allay some fears, or maybe not to allay some fears, but just to let some of y'all know. If you didn't know, you could be gay back in Fable 2. You could have husbands and wives as a man. You could be the biggest player on the earth and just screw everybody. So that's always been a part of this game. So there's nothing to like, that is not a red flag. That is not something to just like throw out there as like, oh, it's going to be woke. So, no, it's always had that stuff in there. And it's always been goofy. It's always treated it with a goofy thing. So, despite his rosy appraisal of the Fable being delayed, fans of the original three games are nowhere near as enthusiastic. Of course, they're not enthusiastic. Look at this screenshot. Let's go all the way back up. This is a screenshot from the new Fable. This is the main character. And now we know who this main character is based off of, and it is a TS person. Because, of course, it is. They have to throw that stuff in there all the time. Oh, yeah, manly jawline, manly skeletal structure, but they want to put a female face on it. That's what they do in real life. That's what they're doing in this game. I don't think it has no point or place or purpose being in this game. Now, nothing has been officially confirmed. They've drawn significant criticism over its apparent move away from a key franchise feature, the ability to choose between playing as a male or female protagonist. You know what they also have moved away from is the fact that whether you do good deeds or bad deeds, your character's face changes. If you choose a more evil route, you will start to get scars. The more times you die, the more scars you will have, but you will start to look like an evil demon. Otherwise, if you choose to go a good route with the choices that you make, what it actually does, it almost makes you look more angelic. They're going away with that too. That is one of those things from the Fable franchise that set it apart way back when it came out back in the day. Is that it was one of those things, your choices affect the way that people see your character. Now they talk about she's ugly. Well, she's a guy, so this aligns with a growing trend in Western AAA gaming where major studios have been accused of prioritizing ideology over consumer preferences in character design. Female protagonists, in a lot of them, yes, they have made them very frumpy. Now, we know why they're doing that, because they want to appeal to all gamers, the very vocal minority of gamers who actually give a fuck about that kind of bullshit. No, we want paragons, both male and female. If I want a man, I want her to be more muscular than me, more manly than me. If I'm playing a female, which I have no problem playing female protagonists, but I want her to be hot. I want her to be sexy. I want to be able to customize her to my certain specific looks. That's kind of the entire point of character customization. It's not so I can see myself on screen. It's just like, hey, I'm going to be playing with this character for God knows how many hours. I want it to be appealing to the eye, not just remind me how I need to get on a treadmill or how I wish I didn't have a back injury so that I could beef up a little bit more. I mean, come on. You can choose to stop eating, though. I'm not going to go away from that. Alongside the announcement that Fable has been delayed, Microsoft released approximately 50 seconds of new Fable gameplay footage. And it showed combat exploration. Yeah, it was basically taking the same stuff from the other Fable games. And a nod to the series' signature humor with a chicken kicking moment. But of course, they're going to put that in there because that's like a staple of the Fable games. It's the chicken kicker. And then you get like the little chicken hat that you can wear around as a crown. Now, they didn't really do much. They didn't really show much more. It was literally just a cock tease for people who's like, oh, this is what we're working with. And I'm really not seeing any interest in this. I don't have any interest in it because I don't trust any of these motherfuckers anymore. Whether or not y'all do, I mean, I think it probably was a good idea to go away from Lionhead Studios, but everything that's been coming out that has been in development for the last 10 to 5 to 6 years, 10 for Dragon Age, 5 to 6 for this new Fable game. And by the way, the original developers were all fired and kicked out. So everything you loved, those people that worked on those games that you loved are no longer there. So where's the trust? You haven't built any trust. especially when you can make things so political, because the writing, the humor, satire, and all kinds of other stuff that was in those original Fable games, that whole the whole world of Albion, all of that stuff was very niche and very specific to the time. That's why Dragon Age couldn't pull it off, because they knew nothing about the world of Thetis. Can these people pull it off with the writing? Because that's the biggest thing, and writers suck. Anyway, we'll have to wait to see what more comes out on this. This is Malty from the Malty channel, Mouth of Malty. That's what we're doing right now. If you have anything to say, leave it down in the comment section below. Love you guys. We'll see you later. Bye bye.